Good evening, Ruskin viewers. I hope you're doing alright. It's time for the 48-hour analysis. Basically, in this video, I'm going to look at all the skins in the current Rust store, make comparisons to previous Rust store skins, to get a good idea in regards to, well, how much each of these skins are likely going to sell by next Thursday, and then knowing that, we'll then start questioning, are these skins still holding up to being perfectly fine investments, or are there any potential problems that you need to be aware of? So sit back, relax, and I'll start yapping. Okay, so, first 24 hours of sales, I'm looking at these skins, and the immediate thing I've noticed is the tire, Roadsign gloves and boots look like they're going to be selling more than the hoodie and pants in the tier 2. I thought those gloves potentially could have been very interesting. It's not the end of the world. I'm sorry, it's so tragic. But no, yeah, it does look like it's potentially just saying just a little bit too much. And it looks like it will sell more than the black diamond gloves, for example. Is that the end of the world? No. It probably still will do all right. Just don't assume it's going to be like going up in price crazily. But it'll probably end up like the Pirate Roadsign gloves, where it's just like, oh yes, it's up in price, but it's only up to like $1.80 after selling at 99 cents. Still profit, but yeah, don't assume it's going to be like $5 like the Black Diamond. But if we do see tier 3 at some point in the future, I'd still expect both those boots and gloves to spike quite nicely. So yeah, just a quick warning, does look like it's going to be selling more. We'll figure it out in a bit how much it's likely to be. But looking at all these other skins, Seeker SAR, that's actually been catching up quite nicely. Initially, it was like the 4th best selling skin. Well, it's a lot more different now. But that is matching up quite nicely with the AK from the previous week. But with this like second wind, perhaps it's going to surpass it. We'll talk more about that. Cobalt Jungle Container Armor Double Door. Well, that is actually looking to be on track to potentially be the highest ever selling Armor Double Door skin we've ever had. How much is exactly that going to be? We'll talk about that, don't you worry. But to my surprise, the green weapons we have here, the Ruined SAP and the BamBOOM AK47, they have sold next to nothing. 4,300 and 3,800. Okay, I would have thought they'd been doing a lot better. And, well, let me tell you, if they don't sell that much, things are starting to look a little bit more interesting. So, alright then, shall we hop in now? Take a look at the 48 hours of sales and start considering how much these are going to potentially reach by next Thursday. Now, I should sit here and say, it is like a couple hours after like 48. It doesn't make that much of a difference. So, yeah, there you go. Seeker SAR, now the second top selling skin. Do you reckon it's going to keep up the momentum and potentially surpass the Armor Double Door by Thursday? Because I know a lot of people have only just started to realise it's got a lot of transparency and the aim sight is pretty useful. So, alright then, shall we properly get started now? Let's get started and talk about the Cobalt Jungle Armoured Double Door, and then we'll proceed with all the other skins afterwards. So, the Armoured Double Door. Let me just quickly point this out to all of you. The highest ever selling skin we've had in the past is, what, 19,000? Yes, Outer Planet's Armoured Double Door back in 2022. Is that it? 19,500? Yeah, that's basically it. Okay, well, let's take this into consideration. How often are you even using an Armor Double Door? Okay, well, there you go. Again, different servers, I understand, but I still stand by this point. This could probably become the highest ever selling, and it'll probably still do A-OK. Like, oh no, it does 20,000 subscribers. Have you seen some of the skins we've seen selling quite recently? Do you want me to go back to 2 weeks ago and see how they're currently holding up? But the point still remains, okay, it might sell quite a lot. For a few months, perhaps it might not rise up in price that much. But I really could see this, you know, being a nice, graceful rise up in price. Now, are we expecting any more Armor Double Doors this year? By default, I'd say no. But last year, I kind of said the exact same thing. Then we saw Twitch drops. Then we saw 2 extra skins being accepted. Yeah, so even then, look at all of them. They're all the positives still. All the marketable ones at the very least. So, alright, maybe we don't need to be concerned so much. And in reference to what I just said, I was basically talking about the position we're in when we hit the Toxic Armor Double Door. Well, you know, with more skins being accepted after it, it's still up by 64%. It's still up by $1.50. And even the likes of the Pixel Armor Double Door, which is pretty much the exact same thing. So, okay, I don't think we have much to worry about. It looks to be alright. But let's actually go ahead now and try and figure out how much that's likely to sell. Now, if I could hop back over to here, honestly, the best thing we could compare to is from the previous week, the Jungle Tomb sleeping bag. Now, of course, that was like an hour late to get that picture. but I don't think it'll matter too much. Again, we tend to generalise anyway. But, well, how much did the sleeping bag reach? Well, if you didn't know, it did about 26,000 subscribers. Okay. So the Armour Double Door potentially is going to do close to that? I think so. I don't know if we're matching up with the momentum the sleeper bag had. Okay, that's a bit interesting. But could I compare to something else? I don't have to do just the sleeper bag, right? Well, we could try. Did anything else do about 10,000 subscribers? You could look at the locker there. You could also consider... we might have to go a little bit further. You also have the Not Friendly Clan Garage Door. Okay, you know what? Let's go ahead and give that a good look as well. Let's go over to here. Let's look at the locker as well, because I thought that might be pretty interesting. That locker did 19,400 subscribers. And what was that? March 28? And no, it's April 3rd. There we go. That did 22,500 subscribers. So we've got quite a variety. But I think the best ones to compare to are this garage door and the sleeper bag for the previous week. The locker was in a massive rust store, and it was one of the lower selling skins. It's a bit different. So I guess, I think I could, 22,000 to 25,000. That sleeper bag, it did get like an extra bit of extra sales towards the end. But then again, I also can envision that's likely going to happen for this Armour Double Door. We are going to do the abnormal barders. People are going to look at the price afterwards, and I just know people are going to end up probably buying a bunch of them. Again, I don't anticipate that many more Armour Double Doors being accepted this year. And if you saw like my short video, have I actually uploaded that yet? Maybe it'll be out tomorrow. You can get like shipping container, green walls, put it to the side, cover them in ivy rugs. It blends in very nicely with that. It looks cool. Is that something you're going to care about doing in game? Some of you might consider it. But we'll see. Overall, for what it is, I think it'll be doing like all right, a-okay. I don't expect it to dramatically drop down in price at all. I think that's actually a great thing to consider. Like if you desperately had to go buy something, yeah, by all means go buy that. It would be very reliable, most likely. Yeah. So yeah, okay. 22 to 26,000 subscribers. Let's just go with that. I think it might be going towards the higher part, so 26 potentially. Moving on, we have the Seeker SAR. So when I did predictions, it was the fourth best-selling skin. When I did the 24 hours picture screenshot, it was the third best-selling skin, and now it sits here. Well, it's the second best. But I've got to be honest with you, these three skins as a whole, they were like really close to each other. They're not now. That one really dropped off. That slowed down, but this just whoosh. So yeah, I do want to talk about this one separately, but if we could just go back over to here real quickly, you'll see for yourself that yeah, all of these were matching up very nicely, but now it's changed. So by default, I'm just going to immediately compare to the previous week with the Seeker AK47. Now there is a bit of a difference with the SAR and AK. The AK, we weren't sure if we were going to get like a collection. We weren't sure, we weren't confident we're even going to see a continuation. Literally the very next rust door. So, okay, cool. This right here, that still might go down in price. Like, I have to point that out, right? That AK is still very cool, very unique. The aim sight's pretty interesting in that. But the aim sight for this AK really doesn't compare to that SAR, alright? So, yes, this did reach just over 19,000 subscribers. But I think this SAR is going to be eclipsing that, and I think it might be rolling over 20,000 subscribers, maybe a little bit more. I've already made this comparison in my rust rotation video, so please consider giving that a good look. Scroll down and look in the description to see the chapters. I quite literally point out, I do a comparison with the Imp SAR. And the Imp SAR, as of now... Scroll up, sorry. Where are you, Imp SAR? There you go. $44 now, apparently? Okay, 46. I guess people are trying to sell theirs now after they realise that what this brand new SAR looks like. See, this it has a very useful amount of transparency in which you can see more. Helpful, useful, cool, awesome. Rose up in price because of that. But this brand new one, which costs $3, has so much more vision. It's got a very cool design, very, very unique design. And even the aim sight has transparency. I've got to be brutally honest with you though. The aim sight having transparency doesn't really matter. But this, very, very nice. And the potential to see even more skins being worked on, even more skins being accepted. Well, got to keep an eye on the workshop, keep an eye on Mr. Vase's workshop, because yes, I do believe we'll be seeing a bigger collection out of this. It very likely might be Heat Seeker Summer. We might be seeing a lot of interesting weapon skins being produced and hopefully accepted. That SAR is in a very good spot. I'm going to give you a good... I think this is going to be doing 19 to 22,000 subscribers. Yeah, a few thousand more compared to the AK. But I think that's actually something like really good to consider potentially looking at as a potential investment, because I don't think we'll be seeing anything like that for a while. All the good positives are just too good, just too appetizing. So yeah, in that particular instance, I think that will be doing just over 20,000 subscribers. 19 to 22 is my expectation. So if you're feeling confident as well, I'd love to hear your thoughts or opinions. Feel free to comment below your thoughts in regards to that SAR. But yeah, there will be more weapons being produced. Got to keep an eye out. Right, let's move on. So with these two, I'll pair these up together. They're fairly close, and well, if I was to do, like, again, you know what, I could probably still compare to the AK, and it'd be like 16 to 19,000. But do we have anything else we could compare to? I don't want to do this week. We're not there. No, I can't do anything here. Oh, this is going well. I guess I could compare to the Seeker AK, and that didn't sell as much as the Heat Seeker AK, so we're going back over to here, and here we are. Now, here's the difference. This Rustor rotated very, very late. That was still in demand, though, very in demand. Like, technically speaking, this Rustor only existed for like 6 days and like a quarter or something, not like a full 7 days. But that right there still managed to do just under 19,000 subscribers. Very in-demand skin, holding up very nicely. One of the only AKs that's actually in the positive. Cool. Back over to here. I guess I'm just going to go with the generalization and say both of these, 16 to 19,000 subscribers. Are they likely going to be all right? Debatable. Garage doors at the moment. You take one quick look at all the skins that have come out so far this year. Oh no. So oh dear. I'm having my doubts. Also, when you look at the other neon garage doors we've had, yeah, they're just not really that in demand. They've actually bumped up a little bit in price with the arrival of this one, but is Duck considering adding more? There was a loot room one. I am fully well aware of it, and I should also point out the possibility of maybe having a complete the sets Rustor this next week. Considering last year, for the 4th Thursday of the month, there was 5 Thursdays last year in May 2024, we got the complete sets Rustor, didn't we? That's where we saw the sudden arrival of the fuel small box, which then of course led to all of these appearing. Could we probably get another neon skin accepted? Could it be loot room garage door? Or would it be cards small box, which is the one thing I'm really hoping for, because that would actually complete the set. We'll see. That garage door, by default, I'm just not expecting much of it. I wouldn't be surprised if it drops off. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down to about $1.50. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. So, in the small box, honestly, I think that might still work out quite nicely to a point. Small boxes so far this year, you'd much rather use that indoors though. Consider watching my Rust rotation video. Go and look in the description, look at the chapters. I compare the Firefly small box with Tier 3 small box, Frog box, even a standard normal storage small box. The Tier 3 is amazing in the jungle if you're going to like try and hide it. Very much so. But that right there, it glows and it's very noticeable at night time. You are not hiding that. But indoors, hey, it's a very nice, comfy thing to consider. And along with all these other deplorables in this set, I think that small box, as time goes on, very likely will be appreciated and rise up in price quite nicely. But if you're expecting like an instant stonks, I don't expect that, I'm afraid. It might be a little bit funny for a while, but I do expect it eventually to rise up quite nicely. And hey, maybe we might see a new skin being produced over the course of this weekend. Large box? We'll see. So keep an eye out, that's all I can say. Tyre, road sign, gloves and boots. Well, to come to this then, let's go back and see. Do we actually have any tyre stuff in the past that I can compare to? We got the tier 2 there, but with the first 24 hours of sales, that had only just under 4,000 subscribers. Where's the hoodie and pants? I swear we had that somewhat recently, right? That's Black Paladin. Oh, here you go. So that had 4,000 subscribers, 4,100 just to be a little bit more precise. Whereas 6,000 and 5,600. That certainly is a little bit awkward. I don't think these are going to be barely going over 10,000 subscribers. It really does feel like they're going to be eclipsing that. So if I was to compare to something that potentially would be quite reasonable, I guess I could look at both of these here, 6,000, 6,400. Maybe I'd much rather look at these three, because of course you also have the 5,600 here. And I was aware that this actually eclipsed that. So this is April 24. Let's go ahead and do this. So April 24. Ape Lord, you ended up with 13,466 subscribers. Deep Ruby went up to 16,000 subscribers. I mean, you know what? Yeah, 13 to 16 probably sounds a fairly reasonable suggestion. Looking at the current sales at the moment, 9,000 here, 8,000 here, another 4,000 over the course of like 5 days. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. That really wouldn't surprise me. So yeah, okay, 13 to 16,000 subscribers. Now, the fact that I've pointed this out to people, do you reckon they're going to stop buying them? We'll see, we'll see. Because chances are maybe it does slow down a little bit. But with that already at 9,000, with this already at 8,500, yeah, they're going to be eclipsing. It's unfortunate, but that is to be expected. However, if that tier 3 does magically appear, oh, I don't know, maybe in a complete the set store. Yeah, no, that would very likely still spike a price. And then we have a full set. A full set, a nice black alternative that really didn't sell that much. Tier 2 only did about 9,000 subscribers. The hoodie and pants only did just over 10,000 subscribers. Now you've got some boots and gloves that might sell a little bit more, but that continuation would still give it a nice boost. So, are you like invested in the entire collection? Are you crossing your fingers and hoping for more nice things in the future? Feel free to comment below. But yeah, those the gloves and the boots were submitted like 2 weeks after the tier 3, and they were accepted before the tier 3. Not sure what FacePunch is up to, but in the past I have seen them hold on to some blackout alternatives for a while, then release it. Black Gold Tier 2 and Commando Tier 2, it took like 6 weeks of them appearing in the workshop and then being accepted. Don't know why they did that, but they've done it before. Let's see what happens. In theory, if we're going to wait for 6 weeks for those, we're probably not going to see it until June Force White. We'll wait and see. Alright then, so in regards to that, yeah, that's looking like it's going to sell more. Might be a bit iffy. Hey, Smart Barter can still lead to some success. However, they are not abnormal, so that might be a bit of a concern, alright? And I should also point out, with regular skins, if I could go to the previous week, where are these? Where are these skins? Have you seen them? No. No, no. I don't know what's going on there. That's weird. Wonder if we potentially have the same issue next week. Oh, could you imagine? Oh, I don't know. If you happen to own the door from the previous week, the SAP from the previous week, or the Python from the previous week, could you try and list it? List it for like $10. Someone will probably buy it. But I'm not sure what's going on there. It's a bit weird. All right, well, anyway, let's move on from here. Let's now talk about Tiger Hoodie and Pants. Now, I know everybody's like, it's not green. I'm sad now. But at the very least, you can see that there is tier 3 that's already been submitted. Over the course of this weekend, I do believe Mr. Johnny Old Boy might be submitting even more. Tier 2, boots and gloves, a jacket of some sort. We shall see. But yes, it doesn't matter. So as long as you see more core pieces being produced and accepted, that's still going to spike a price. All right then, so just a little bit of positivity. Yeah, it's not green, but shut up. 4,700, 4,700. Do you think that compares quite nicely to that? Well, looking at the previous week, you could probably just sit there and compare to the Croco DBS. But if there is any clothing, I'd much more appreciate comparing to that. But we don't really have anything that compares to that. There, right there, 5,000, no. I guess I could compare to these weapons there, 4,600 almost there. Yeah, okay, we could do that. We'll look at the Starry Dream Thompson, and I'll also consider the Croco. So let's go over to here. Croco, how much did you sell? You sold in total 11,900 subscribers. Let's just say 12,000. And if I could just go over to here and look at that Thompson did 11,500. Okay, well, you know what? Perhaps we could sit here and say, judging by the amount of sales as of now as well, 10 to 12,000 subscribers. That really isn't that much, is it? No. In fact, again, Looking at the hoodie and pants here, because that sold for 10,000, didn't it? And with the arrival of the boots and gloves, well, that went and doubled in price, and this is currently up by about 50 cents. You could see it for yourself. If new pieces are accepted, prices will improve. Yes. So, again, don't you like being a tiger or something? I know, sorry. Yeah, it is what it is. But again, it's still a collection. There is still potential for new pieces to be accepted. Don't rule out the possibilities, and don't neglect the potential profits, right? Roadsign Large Backpack. I don't know if we're going to be able to see any continuations of this. Would it be clothing and armor, I guess? I don't know. Why don't we get the green hoodie pet? Shut up, Hedge. Come on, move on. But yes, another backpack. Let's go ahead and compare. So, that backpack, it did 4,600 subscribers almost. I mean, it's very similar to the Tiger hoodie and pants. Yeah, you know what? That's probably going to be 10 to 12,000 subscribers as well. Yeah. I should have looked more there. Yeah, okay. No, I wouldn't rule out that. That seems like a perfectly fine amount. If we could go back over to here, that's 7,000 subscribers. This is just not too far off. Yeah, that still looks like it could reach 10,000. Yeah. I'll bunch all of that up. So if you look at the description right now, you'd see all the estimates all listed. I'll put that with that. Okay. SAP and BamBOOM AK47 I will do together. There's a bit of a distance now, but that might be the lower side, that might be the upper side. So if we're already looking at skins that are probably at best going to do 10 to 12,000 subscribers, both of these are looking so much more interesting. So let's now hop over to here, and let's go find a skin that could compare quite nicely for both of them. You could look at Aztec Rock Door from the previous week, but I want to kind of go in between, and I know we have... you could look at the Tire hoodie and pants. They quite literally landed smack dab just over 10,000 subscribers that we're aware of. But is there a weapon that was like smack dab in the middle? I'm trying to see. I swear I saw something. I might have gone mad. We'll pass beyond that, mate. Yeah, okay then. So I think that probably is the best thing to compare with. Tie hoodie and pants. Basically, I'm looking at these skins here. I'm thinking BamBOOM might potentially only reach up to about 9,000 subscribers. I think the SAP has the potential to potentially go up to about 11,000 subscribers. But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe it might be a little bit less. I'm sticking with the 9 to 11,000 suggestion. A green SAP, a ruin weapon, only 9,000 subscribers, or 11. Use of redeem site, I mean, I've got to be honest with you. With how this has performed as of recent with the jungle update and whatnot, I'm thinking that actually might have a pretty fun future ahead of it, especially at the point of, I won't be surprised if we see that large box being resubmitted and a sheep door, and we might see like more weapons. A light green weapon collection. Oh, I wonder what clothing and armor collection might appreciate having that paired up with it. Do you happen to know of any light green clothing armor sets that might appreciate having some somewhat valuable weapons to accompany it? Oh, I wouldn't know. So yeah, honestly, that's looking to be very appealing. And then we have BamBOOM AK47. I love the timing of this. Just as I upload this video here, so if I could go to my YouTube, I'm sure you've seen this video here. So, ta-da! Green AK-47 jungle camouflage, a weapon showcase. So basically, I was suggested, hey, could you do what you did with the clothing armor, but do more of a focus with weapons? So as you can see on display there, there's Reptile Hunter, there's Forest Raiders, there's Fish Collection, accompanied with like a Tier 3 AK, Ruin AK, and of course a Fish AK. But it's not just AKs, I also looked at MP5s, Thompsons, SARs, double barrel shotguns, and of course AK-47s. And I thought that's a lovely video to do. And then literally the very next rush store, there you go, another green AK. I did upload a short video of this. So I basically did the same thing, but I made it for that, just that. But if you're going to tell me now, this $3.49 skin, which is nice, light, well, I'll just go green. I was going to say light green. It's not really light green. But the aim sight's useful. The design's cool. The skin creator is intending to make another one, which has already been submitted. It honestly looks like this could turn into an interesting collection as well, if it were to get an extra skin. We're basically in the position of the Heat Seeker AK last week. We're not 100% sure that we're going to get a collection out of this, but the potential and the possibility is there. $3.49 for a green AK-47. I know we have other options, but it just still feels like that's just too low. The price very likely has scared off some people. Wouldn't surprise me. But in that very same video I just pointed out to you, I'll give you some spoilers. Turns out, even the cheap green AK-47s, they blend in very nicely with the clothing and armour. Like, you don't really need to spend $9 on a Ruin AK. You could just spend $1 on a Tier 3 AK. Yep. So, still feels too low. It's debatable. I guess we'll just do the abnormal barders and then we'll see what the price looks like afterwards. There's some pretty good positives. It's just, I've been let down by AKs in the past, unfortunately. I'm still very hesitant. It's unfortunate. Keep me up at night, scared and worried. Anyway, so yeah, maybe I'd only do 9,000 subscribers. Maybe it just works out quite alright. We'll leave it for the abnormal barders. So again, if you don't know what abnormal barders are, please consider going to my YouTube. You'll see my most recent abnormal barders video here. That is where we chased after the skins from the previous week. Watch the first 5 minutes of this video, scroll down, skip ahead to the barders chapter, and you will essentially understand what abnormals are. They are skins that will become marketable at an earlier time before the Rust River rotates. That allows us the chance to potentially go ahead and do some barders on some of the skins here, and we can get an early look as to whether these skins have actual genuine demand, looking at the amount of barders they have and how high the price goes up to. Sounds good? So, for example, if BamBOOM AK47 had 1,000 barders and it goes all the way up to $3, I'd feel a lot more confident that skin would actually do a much better job of retaining its price. Sounds good? Cool. Deep Ruby double barrel shotgun, sorry. I was thinking of the AK. I can't not forget it. I mean, I just pointed it out, didn't I? Deep Ruby double barrel shotgun. It is the lowest selling skin, which is kind of surprising. But then again, I guess people have already got their fill of a green AK, green double barrel shotgun the previous week. Let's continue. let's just go ahead and do a comparison. So, 3,200 I can compare to, well, I could look at the Predator Sword and the Jungle Bite Python from the previous week. That actually sounds like a perfectly fine thing to compare to. So how did the both of those end up at? The Sword ended up with 6,800 subscribers almost, and the Jungle Bite Python ended up with just over 8,000 subscribers. If I was to go in between, or generalise, I guess I'll go with 6,500 to 8,500 subscribers. I think I'll just go with that. Seems like a safe option. So, okay. Double barrel shotgun. Not selling that much. Huh. See, this is the first ever double barrel shotgun skin with a coloured in aim sight. This was one of the recent changes Face Punchers has implemented. Does it make that much of a difference? Probably not. But I have to ask you, as we are about to go through the summer, as in like the real good part of it, where all the kids are going to be out of school and they're going to be playing Rust, there's going to be a lot more people playing the game, do you reckon this collection will be appreciated? The crystalline, amethyst, purple coloration, it's quite unique, it's interesting, but will people care enough to want to buy it throughout the summer? As you can see, the sap's doing alright, one of the tools is doing alright, even the hatchet, I've got to be honest with you, with it only down at 4%, that's actually pretty good. Most hatchets and pickaxes go all the way down to $1. Crossbow's not doing too bad. The AK is still a bit... That did also sell quite a lot though, 30,000. So I'm still under the impression this could actually work out quite nicely. And also, you might notice something here. There's a... What's that? What's that? Where did that come from? I'm not sure if that's supposed to be seen, but hey, there you go. We have now been informed that the skin creator intends to do some tier 2 armor. Okay, well, that's pretty interesting then. Perhaps we'll see much more of it. Maybe we'll even delve into deplorables. So, okay, cool. Looks like we're getting a tier 2 set next, and I think that'll go very nicely with all these weapons. What do you reckon? 6,500 to 8,500. That double barrel shotgun might be pretty interesting. It's also abnormal, don't forget about that. But just to remind all of you, a lot of these double barrel shotgun skins have done pretty badly. So, just reminding you, okay? Cool. So that is a wrap in regards to talking about all those skins. Remember, all the estimates in regards to the amount that potentially will sell is listed in the description, along with chapters and whatnot. Let's talk about some other things. So yes, the player count. I've been talking about it for a while. We are now just past the halfway point of this month. The player count average for this month has been good. It's better than April. Better is a nice way of putting it. We probably did assume the jungle update would be a lot more immense, but those kids are still in school. And it's starting from next month. We're going to start seeing them not be in school and going outside and playing. No, they're going to play Rust. Of course they are. Screaming at you. Screaming about the Tigers. Screaming all the time. So, yes, we should expect a nice pickup. Look at May last year, then look at June. Pretty significant jump there. So if we see something like that happening, that is where I would just, start to see, like prices really starting to improve. Many skins have already reached their lowest point. A lot of them are starting to trend upwards. I would expect a lot of the skins to potentially peak around July and August time. That's where most of the skins last year peaked for the summer of 2024. And let me remind you, lots of skins peaked at new all-time high prices last summer 2024. So, okay, cool. Face Punch commits, keep an eye on this. I'm seeing some interesting things being worked on. The coconut gloves compatible, snow jacket, and bunny onesie. I wonder if we get to a point where the skin creators in general can make, skin wood armor. That would be cool. Probably won't happen. A new menu is still being worked on. Something's cooking. Inventory limited, general skins, icon blur. Yeah, they're onto something. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference, but yeah, looks like they're revamping the menu and wallpaper for the floor. Yeah, it looks like we're getting some sort of floor textures being added. This has been going on for quite some time though already. You should probably already be aware of it. But instead of just like DLC for the walls, looks like we're getting it for the floor as well. Would you like some carpet? What about some nice wood paneling? What do you suggest? Rock hard floor. Nice and cold, just the way I like it. So, okay, cool, that's that then. What else could I mention? Well, of course, keep an eye on the workshop. As you can see here, just a few skins have been submitted. We also got a little peek with that tier 2 for the Deep Ruby. I am trying my best to build up all of this, but we've got to play the waiting game. If you don't want to get yourself all set up with like keeping an eye on all the skins, you could just go to micro522.com, just click date submitted once, and lo and behold, you can see all the new skins that are being submitted. So yeah, that's a super easy thing. And a link to this website is literally in the description right now. Wow. Okay, so one final extra point. I will sit here and point out once again, is it going to happen? Complete the sets. Are you hoping? Are we coping? Yeah, most likely the second one. But yeah, go look at the description. The link's there for this collection. The complete the sets candidates. I want you to write in the comments right now. Out of all these collections that you see here, which ones would you like to see getting more skins accepted if we were to have a complete the sets for the next Rust store? I know I suggested it might be last week. Well, just to remind you once again, last year, if we could just go back and take a look, for May 2024, we had five Rust stores. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it was May 23rd, the 4th Rust store, in which we had the complete the sets last year. It wasn't an announced roster. It wasn't an announced complete the sets, but the skins that were accepted here, yeah, it wasn't a coincidence. That was clearly done intentionally. Could we see some very cool things like that appearing next week? I certainly am looking forward to it. So again, what collections do you think would be a really cool addition? You could be even specific and say, I quite literally want the Forest Raiders Large Backpack. Even though if you go over to here, look and see that there's a Forest Raiders collection, you'd realise there's actually like Forest Raiders AK47s and whatnot. Look at all of those. Oh, look, burlap clothing, leather gloves, burlap shoes, hide clothing. Oh, and a furnace. So yeah, point made. These are like the representative of the collection, but you go look and see for yourself, there's actually a lot more, but all behind it all and whatnot. So plenty of interesting clothing and armour pieces that I'm sure many of you are wishing very hard for. But sometimes life is cruel, isn't it? Very much so. Very much so. So, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, cool. I guess I could bring this up. So, as I've already mentioned, this right here, brand new video. If you haven't seen it already, I've already made some videos showcasing primitive and core pieces in the jungle biome, green clothing and armour basically. So that's for all your ponchos and burlap clothing and whatnot. And over to here is for all your tier 3, tier 2, hoodie and pants and jackets. Consider giving that a good watch. And the newest one right here in 1440p. Yep, it's the first time I've ever done this. Was fun to record in, but the file size. But yeah, Lots of extra definition and many instances where I'll ask you to pause the screen and tell me where am I hiding. If you like Where's Wally, Where's Waldo, Americans. But anyway, yeah, there's lots of instances of that. Where's the hidden green camouflage guy? Consider giving that a good watch. And I will also point out, I'm sure many of you have seen this video here, The Road to Big Grin, Part 1. Well, that was actually recorded like 6 weeks ago. I've already recorded a Part 2. So that'll be out potentially, probably the day after this 48-hour analysis. So keep your eyes open, and yeah, let's look forward to that. One extra final thing I want to quickly say. I'm getting my internet upgraded, so I might not be able to stream for a couple days. It's going to happen on a Tuesday, which is a day off for me, which is nice. But I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the abnormal borders. I would probably still try and do it and then talk about the abnormal border support. Sure, we'll see. But if there's anything going a bit funny, at least you are aware of that. Okay? So sorry for stalling. But at the very least, thank you very much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. Enjoy your, the rest of your weekend. And let's look forward to what the next Rust store is going to be. I'm trying to be positive, but